Welcome to day 4 of Mental Health Awareness Campaign, Swasth Man, Swasth Samaj, organized jointly by Department of Psychology, IILM University, and District Commission, Gurgaon. Our today's session is on management and prevention of stress through psychological intervention. Man se man ka Ellaj. The session will be taken by Dr. Abha Singh, Professor Dr. Abha Singh, and Dr. Parnika Sharma. Dr. Abha Singh, she is the Director of Center of Emotional Intelligence, IILM University, and a Professor of Psychology and Behavioral Science. She has more than 24 years of professional experience in teaching, training, and research. With 45 national and international publications to her credit, she's a trained psychologist who's trained many thousands of people, taken 120 behavioral skill trainings, and has conducted behavioral skills and personality enhancement training programs for more than 50,000 police personnel. Dr. Parnika Sharma is a counseling psychologist and life skills trainer. She is also the co-founder of Prodigy People and has over 15 years of experience in teaching, training, and counseling. She has designed a program called Emotional Workout and trained over 20,000 people from various backgrounds, including police personnel. Thank you so much, Dr. Abha Singh and Dr. Parnika Sharma, for joining us today. Over to you. We'll start the session now. Dr. Parnika?
Yeah, I start. Very happy morning and namaste to one and all. I heartily welcome all my participants for this very important topic on Man se man ka Ellaj, the psychological intervention for management and prevention of stress. Let me tell you on the onset of the session that the power of mind we have not realized. And the power of mind controls us and everyone around us. So today in this session, we would like to present before you what are the scientific ways our mind functions and we are not aware of it. And how we can manage, control with scientific proven techniques. And that's what we are going to discuss in this session today. And all kinds of techniques will be given to you how to achieve mind health, mental balance, and live peacefully within ourselves and with others and achieve happiness. Now I request Dr. Parnika, my colleague, to take you to the conceptual understanding and scientific understanding on Man se man ka Ellaj. Over to you, Parnika.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to come and present in front of you about this very important topic, that is Man se man ka Ellaj. And I think that IILM is doing a great service through the Center of Emotional Intelligence to the entire population. I think that this is what is needed the most. That is to become emotionally resilient so that we have stress around, but we don't get stressed out because of the situations around. And I think that this topic is really, really important. Through this session, we will talk about various strategies and we will do a lot of activities. So I really want all of you to please be present emotionally, physically, and mentally in the session. So let's start a session with a deep breath. so that we can all get connected and relaxed, because I'm sure that each one of us are running in our day, since morning, even if not physically, then mentally, then maybe a deep breath will help us get connected with ourselves. And if possible, if we can be on video mode so that all of us feel togetherness in this journey of Man Se Man Ka Ilaj. Yeah. So, uh, bef- so I'm sharing the slides. Yeah. And the objective of today's session would be so that I'm sure that after this session, each one of us will understand that what is happening with them whenever we have this kind of a thought that I am losing control of my life. And and after this session, we could able to have certain skills so that we can manage ourselves better. When the 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 concept that stress, now the stress is something which is which is I think that the most usable word these days, and more so in certain profession like policing, uh, teaching, medical service, where your job is of a very high stress level, in which we really need to be there on almost 24 hours as a teachers, as a police personnel. Our duty never ends. We are always, and especially during this pandemic, our job have really, really expanded. And we already know that policing is a very, very demanding profession. It is a profession in which we are committed to the social welfare more than our own personal welfare. And so the boundaries between our personal lives and our professional life somewhere dilutes. So when this boundary of personal and professional life dilutes, then it leads to stress. We sometimes feel that we are losing control. We sometimes feel that, okay, I really can't do certain things which I really want to do. And whenever we have this kind of a feeling that I am losing control of my life, I want to do something, but I am not able to do that thing, that leads to a level of stress. Whenever we have this thought, I really don't know what will happen next, that leads to anxiety. And when this stress and anxiety and the ability to control things, we could not able to control these things for a longer period of time, there is a feeling of hopelessness comes in, and that leads to a feeling of depression. So all these things, goes hand in hand. uh, I'm sure that each one of us must have experienced this feeling of stress, this feeling of anxiety. When we get up in the morning and we feel that, okay, we really need to rush for our duties. There is an anxiety when we have a deadline, when we have a meeting, or when our bosses are there to scrutinize our work. We all experience these anxiety provoking situations. And when these stressful situation comes in, we all feel certain physiological changes within ourselves, which help us think that, yeah, we are in stress. And if we are in stress for a longer period of time, then it leads to a lot of we feel that the life is out of control. There is a certain feeling of confusion. There is we know the things. Sometimes we forget things. There is a common feeling of forgetting, or we know that sometimes our we know the thing, we have kept certain things and we can't find those things, so there is a constant feeling of confusion. We experience restlessness. We feel that our heartbeat is rising. There is a certain kind of sweating. We feel some discomfort in our stomach. There is a feeling of anxiety, and when this feeling continues for a longer period of time, it makes us feel demotivated. It makes us feel lethargic, and we tend to avoid certain things, certain situations. We start making excuses. We absenteeism at work increases. Um, all these things are the symptoms of high level of stress. Now imagine if we all are experiencing these kind of emotions, will we be able to be productive? Will we be able to grow in life? Will we be able to accomplish what we want to accomplish? And the answer is no. So we have to do certain things. We have to change the way we live so that we could able to accomplish things in life. We could able to grow in life. I quickly here want to show you what happens whenever there is a stress in our brain, and how can we overcome this with the help of our brain only, because the topic is about man se man ka ilaj. Yeah. So imagine whenever we have this kind of situation which is threatful. It could be just before a public speaking, or it is that for police personnel, if you really want to you really you there is certain home demands, and you want, and you can't able to fulfill certain personal responsibility because of your professional responsibility. So there is a feeling of threat that I could not able to manage my personal life and my professional life. So whenever there is a situation of a threat, uh, this is our midbrain, which is like amygdala, which has emotion, which is a center of emotional memory. Now this amygdala is also our primitive mind, which help us to survive. Survival is the biggest instinct. Whenever we are in threat, our first instinct is to survive. So this amygdala, this hypothalamus, is helping us to survive by telling us that there is threat in the environment, and it releases certain hormones known as cortisol, which is a stress hormone, which help us to deal with this danger, with this threat, by enhancing energy in our body through increased heart rate, through pancreas start releasing more glucose, and our blood start flowing through in our limbs. And as a result, our basic our basic life systems like digestive system uh, go back. It go back to a resting stage, because at that time the dealing with this threat becomes much more important. Now, in this limbic system, or this amygdala, the survival mode, get activated much before we even realize. So for example, you are crossing a road, and then there is a car rushing toward you. Your basic instinct, you just comes back, or you just try to protect yourself from the running car, and that is much very, very instinctual. You don't use your rational mind to act that way. It is much more unconscious, because this is where your brain get activated much before you even realize that it is getting activated. That helps you to survive. But if when we are in a constant stress level, imagine, and our this unconscious mind of survival is activated all the time. Imagine what will happen. Sometimes when we are in high level of stress, we get irritated very quickly. We get angry very quickly. And in this anger, we end up saying certain things, or we end up do certain things which we later repent that why we have done that. It is happening because our unconscious mind is activated. We don't even realize that what we are saying, and later maybe we repent that why we have done this. So the idea is that use our rational mind, which is the prefrontal cortex. And within human beings, this is the most developed area of brain that help us to think rationally. So each time when we are in stress, this brain get activated. But at that time, let's consciously try to use our rational mind. And how can we do that? We can do that by, first of all, being aware that what is happening with us. So the moment we are feeling the moment we realize that there is a feeling of restlessness, let's take a deep breath, or let's drink a glass of water. The moment we take a deep breath or drink a glass of water, we could help our rational mind to take over, and with our rational mind, we can think creatively, we can get into problem solving, we can think logically and rationally, and we could able to solve our problems for better. So this is how it is very important that we win over our mind through our mind as well. Yeah. It's very important to balance the mental health as well as the physical health, because we know that whatever illnesses which we have in our body is because of the stress. And if there is a stress in our mind, it comes to our body as well. Here, here, this is a very important diagram, and I'm sure that each one of us have experienced this. Yeah, the stress comes in from the perception of threat. So the moment we have this perception of threat, which is our thought process, the moment we see a situation as dangerous, our irrational mind, our limbic system, our amygdala get activated, and we are in this vicious cycle of threat, danger, anxiety, restlessness. Now, all depends upon our thinking. So the moment we perceive it as a danger, we have the feeling of restlessness, stress, and the moment we have these feelings of restlessness, we tend to behave in the similar way. We become really jittery, we lose our confidence, and we could not able to do or act rationally or in a socially accepted manner. Yeah? But if we start thinking the situation as not as a threat but as a challenge, the moment we have this thought that, okay, now this situation is not threat, this is a challenge, similar emotions we start feeling motivated, enthusiastic, and the moment we start feeling motivated and enthusiastic, the similar behavior, we will be much more we will be much more confident, we will be able to use our creativity and problem solving skills in that situation. So it's very important. It all boils down to what we are thinking. In our mind, are we only worried about so many other things in life, or we are very, very mindful about our behavior, and we are very mindful of present moment and present situation. See what happens that, our brain in a minute have some 10,000 thoughts. Now these thoughts can be about future, can be about past, about other people. So our mind is full of these thoughts. Now, when we have these so many thoughts in our brain, all these 10,000 thoughts cannot be positive all the time. Some of the thoughts have to be negative. Now, the moment we have any negative thought, the stress emerges and the stress happens. And as the stress happens, the cortisol level keep on increasing. So what we really need to do at that time, when we are overwhelmed with our thoughts, at that time, it's very important to take a deep breath and be mindful of our present moment. Get connected with our own self. And the moment we could be mindful of our situation, we could able to take control of our lives back. Yeah. So the choice is ours. We want to be mindful with a lot of worries and thoughts, or we want to feel relaxed and mindful with our present, using our rational mind, using our problem solving strategies. The choice is ours. Yeah. And it's natural sometimes to think about what if. Each one of us think about what if, right? So what if I didn't get a day off to take care of my mother to the hospital, or what if I catch hold of coronavirus? So all these what if is natural, and the moment we have this what if thought, we get stressed out, we get anxious. Yeah. At that particular moment, we really need to understand that what are the things that we need to we can control. Yeah. So what if if my boss comes to the inspection, yeah, now that particular moment, that situation can be a threat to me. Okay, what if, yeah, the moment we think, oh my God, it's a threat, we get anxious. But the moment I get this as a challenge, that yeah, even though there is an inspection comes in, I know that I am in control of my work. And that is the challenge. I will make sure that I will be effective. Yeah. So it is very important. The choice is up to us. Either we get affected by the situation, or we become effective in the situation. Either we get into a reaction, or we do a right action using our rational mind. And for that, it's really important to have a meaning in life. It's important that each and every day we we really need to ask ourselves that why I am doing my work, why I am doing my any activity. And if you could able to understand the larger meaning of your day-to-day lives, then you can be much more growth oriented. You could able to deal with your stresses in a much better way. So as a police personnel, I can understand that sometimes we feel that my work, that I'm sometimes I might feel that, oh my God, my work is like too hectic, I'm not getting my day offs, my boss could not able to understand my position, or I'm not getting the right incentives to work. So you sometimes feel demotivated, discouraged. But if our why is right in place, that why I am doing my work, and which is beyond my personal interest, then I could able to be enthusiastic, I could able to accomplish much more. So as a teacher, if we could able to understand that why I am in this profession, if as a student, if we can think about it, that why I am studying this, yeah, which is beyond your just your personal benefits, just then we can actually then we can achieve much more in life. Let's do this simple activity, and I'm sure that by doing this activity, we could able to understand things better. Yeah. So let's take out a sheet of paper. Let's take a sheet of paper. Yeah. Please come on the video mode so that we can all see each other while doing this activity. So take a white sheet, and on this sheet of paper, draw a big heart. Draw a big heart. Yeah. And then write down all the mean words which people have ever told you, or you have shared, or you have said certain mean things to others. Yeah. So write down all the rude words, or which you have ever tell it to yourself, that I'm not good enough, I am lazy, I procrastinate things, I'm not very confident, I'm not very smart. So any rude thing that you have said to yourself, or people told you that you are a dumb person, you cannot do well in life, or you can't understand things. So whatever mean things that you have, tell it to yourself or others have told you, just write down all these words on this heart. Write all those mean words. Yeah, I hope all of you are with me, and I hope all of you are writing. You can give a thumbs up. Yeah. Please, give certain reactions so that I can feel that, yeah, you are with me. Yeah, so let's do a thumbs up and write down all the mean words that people have ever shared. Great. Now, how does this makes us feel? How does this makes us feel? Doesn't it makes us feel crushed? Yeah, makes us feel sad. So let's crush our hearts. Let's crush our hearts, because this is what it makes us feel. Just crush it. Just crush it. And now try to open it. Try to open it back to its usual form. Press it. Press it. Press it. And say sorry. And say sorry to your heart for giving so much pain to your heart. Yeah. Press it hard so that it comes back to its normal shape. Yeah. Say sorry to your heart for letting that pain come in. Yeah. Can your heart come back to its normal self, the way it was before? Yeah. No, right? No. There are still some creases in the paper which are like permanent, and even hard. You are trying to press it, it's not coming out. Now these creases are our emotional wounds. Yeah. So that's the reason sometimes, even if somebody have hurt us, or if we are really, really pessimistic about our own abilities, so even after people telling us sorry, or even after a lot of positive self-talk, sometimes we could not able to be the way we were, yeah, because of these emotional wounds. Yeah? So it helps us realize that we really need to be very, very mindful when we speak to others and when we speak to ourselves. And also, we really need to be very mindful about what are the things that we are keeping in, we are letting in ourselves. Yeah? Taking feedback is one thing, but taking criticism is another. So if it is a positive feedback, it's fine. We all should take it because it helps us grow and learn. But if we think that somebody is critically criticizing us, we really need to be mindful about the material we want to retain. Yeah. And because it has its effect on our personality even much later in life. Yeah. So sometimes in the past, if what happens, it comes back to us. Yeah. So I still remember one of my client was sharing that that he gets anxious whenever he has to meet, whenever he has to meet strangers. there is some kind of an anxiety, and he is like a young professional working, doing very well in his work. Is a successful businessman, but he said that I really can't understand. I mean, whenever I have to meet strangers, there is a feeling of anxiety. Now, when we were talking and talking, we realized that when he was in his class 6th, 7th, 8th, then there was a group of children who used to bully him a lot. Now, at that time, he could able to deal with that bulliness in a better way. He didn't react at that time much. But that incident just gets stuck in his brain, like that, this emotional bond, right? So now when he's like grown up, each time he has to meet a stranger, there is a need to prove himself. And the moment there is a need to prove himself, that makes him feel anxious. Yeah. So this is how these emotional wounds impact us. Yeah? So in our career, if we have a very, very dominating boss, or we could not able to achieve, then we sometimes struggles to achieve our highest potentials. Yeah. So it is very important that we realize about our emotional wounds and heal ourselves. So let's heal ourselves together. Yeah, so let's heal ourselves together uh, through this very scientifically proven tapping exercise. Yeah, I want all of you to please come on your screens, on your videos, and let's together get into this process of healing. Yeah, because it's very important that we heal our emotional wounds. I want all of you to please sit straight with your backbone straight. Yeah, and if possible, close your eyes. Take a deep breath and think about that. What is your biggest worry right now? What is your biggest stress is now? What is it that you feel is bothering you? It can be that I procrastinate things, I become lazy, or there is a lot of stress and anxiety. Yeah, and try to rate your feeling on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the maximum. So that means that you feel a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. You feel that, yeah, I procrastinate myself a lot. I am really lazy. I'm not that smart enough. So think about it. And then start tapping. We tap. So we start tapping from our, the area from our tippy toe, this small finger, which we known as a karate part, point, and let's start tapping. Let's start tapping. Even though I'm very stressed and anxious right now, I still accept and love myself. Please repeat with your stress statement that even though I'm feeling out of control right now, I am relaxed. Even though I procrastinate a lot, I accept myself. When we start tapping with our two fingers in the middle of our eyebrows, and we say that even though I'm really stressed out, I am relaxed. Even though I'm losing control of my life, I'm still calm. Even though I procrastinate a lot, I accept and love myself. Then at the end of our eyes, and then we tap here. Even though I'm very anxious, I accept myself. Even though I am lazy, I love myself. Even though I feel my life is not in my control, I love myself. Then your eyes, to the points below your eyes, there is a bone, cheekbone. On the cheekbone, even though I'm in stress, I feel relaxed. Even though I procrastinate, I love myself. Even though I'm losing control, I am relaxed. Then do a little curve in your point below your nose. Just tap, keep tapping and see that even though I'm in stress, I'm feeling relaxed. Even though I procrastinate, I accept myself. Even though I feel my life is not in my control, I love myself. A little curve on your chin. Tap, tap, tap. Even though I am in stress, I relax. I feel relaxed. Even though my life seems out of control, I love myself. On your collarbones, an inch below your collarbones, and tap. Tap with all your 10 fingers. Yeah. Even though I'm in stress, I accept and love myself. Keep tapping. And then on your head. Even though I'm in stress, I feel relaxed. Now we start the process again once more on our eyebrows, and this time try to experience what you are feeling. You're feeling much more positive. You're much more relaxed. I'm feeling relaxed. I'm feeling positive. The anxiety and the stress have reduced. I am calmer. My life is in much more control. I can accomplish my dreams. I'm relaxed and calm. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. And slowly open your eyes. Now, research proves that when we do tapping, the signal goes through our amygdala. Yeah? Because amygdala is the seat of our emotions and all threatful emotions, right? So when because it's there, it is like our emotional memory, which help us sometimes feel threatful, stressed out. So when we tap, we are sending signals to our amygdala that we are relaxed now. There is no threat. There is no stress. Yeah? And the research proves that after tapping, 46% of the cortisol get reduced in the body. Yeah? So it is a very effective technique that you can actually do it whenever you feel that your life is out of control or you are experiencing a lot of stress, to help your rational mind get activated and you feel that life is in your control. So thank you so much for patiently listening and participating. Now over to Sakshi.
Thank you so much, Parnika. This was so amazing. Such beautiful techniques, healing our emotional wounds, and helping us with various strategies that can help us regulate our emotions, which is so important to feel healthy, both in our mind and body. And accepting ourselves, loving ourselves, it really helped in evaporating stress and reducing my anxiety. And I'm sure it helped everybody who was here as well. Thank you so much. Dr. Abha, we'd really like to get your ideas on this.
Yeah, thank you, Parnika. The scientific techniques, it is not only in India, it is utilized. It is also worldwide. This technique is known as emotional freedom technique, the tapping technique which you shared with audience. So it is very important. Those who have learned, you can share at least with 3. So this is how the chain of emotional freedom we can achieve. And as our mental health awareness program of IILM University can reach masses, so that's what we can easily, simply manage our stress. And another important technique which we have is breathing exercises. Our brain is controlled by our breath. I don't know how many of you are aware. If there is breath, there is life. If there is no breath, there is no life. So we should know the science of breath. And science of breath is spirituality, if you ask me. The spirituality Latin word is spiritus, which means breath. And in our country, Maharishi Patanjali long back had given this definition that spirituality is science of breath. I don't know how many of us know us and know regarding this concept, which is very scientific and proven long back by Rishi Munis of our country, sages of our country. But The unfortunate part is that we need to conduct researches, which Western country universities have done it. And now we agree that yes, how this breathing exercise really controls our left and right side of brain, and central nervous system gets relaxed. And when central nervous system gets relaxed, something which is automatic, which happens to you, the reflexes, So you start feeling calmer. Some stimulus you see, you get angry, you will not feel angry. So this is where the breathing technique, and you can't say that I don't have time to do it. Sometimes people come complaining to me, ma'am, it's very difficult, time nahi milta. मैंने कहा खाने का time मिलता है, brush करने का time मिलता है. You have to include in your daily routine life if we want to be healthy. Health is holistic concept, physical plus mental, which Parnika showed you on the slides. So we can't treat mind separately and body separately. And for this holistic health, yoga is the best treatment, which we all need to adapt in our daily life. And yoga has many asanas, and again a breathing technique which we learn in yoga as a technique of mind, body, health, and not only mind, body, also soul. It's integration of mind, body, soul. And if we can do some exercises like breathing, pranayam, which we talk in the context of yoga language, and then we have dhyana yoga, which is meditation or mindfulness, whatever language it is used in worldwide. But it is the same thing, it's a meditation. Meditation is a scientific gift of God, if you ask me. Scientific gift given to the humanity by God. It is up to us. If we use it, we would be happy and healthier. And in today's COVID-19 times, where mental health has manifold multiplied, I must tell you the researchers have proved in the COVID-19 cases as well, research done by American Psychological Association, that those people are getting infected quickly are their fearful belief system. And they correlated with personality belief system. And those people whose belief system were based on fear, and uncertainty, anxiety, fear of failing, fear of death, fear of anything, the cases of death and the infection of COVID was higher. So I think it's very important and the research also proved that immunity and positivity goes hand in hand. If your immunity is strong, your positivity is higher. If your positivity is higher, immunity is stronger, and vice versa. So it's very important to understand why we are doing this program, to create mental health awareness, also to help people in our country and worldwide, that how they can help themselves by strengthening their energy of mind in a positive manner. And that can do a great good to them and to others. So that's where I think I always try to communicate in deliberations that psychologists can't go everywhere, but yoga, science, meditation science can go everywhere, And it can help people in managing their stress easily without going through number of days of trainings which we talk about. It's only your practice you need to adapt for yourself in the context of controlling your mind. And if you control your mind, your stress is controlled. You must have seen when we wander, mind wanders. So when you are wandering more, the stress and anxiety is more. Your mind gets decluttered. You have to see a lot of things at the same time. So you have a lot of clutter in your mind, a lot of confusion in mind, dilemma in mind. So you have to declutter your mind. So how would you do that? So there are easy techniques which we have already shared in slides, and you have, and so many brain gyms, so many brain exercises developed by neuroscientists. The scientific one you should select for yourself, which you feel easy for yourself and which you can think that it can be done easily, and make it a part of your routine. And let me tell you, if you have a routine, you have a stability. If you have a stability, you have a confidence. If you have a confidence, you're happy. That's how it goes. So that's why when I see this yoga as a technique, yoga is science of wellness. Wellness means all factors included in your life. And that's what yoga and meditation does to us. So that's why yoga, Chitta, Vritti, Nirodhan. That means yoga stops, controls the fluctuation of mind. Chitta is mind, consciousness. Vritti is fluctuation. We have a lot of waves in our mind, negative waves, So how do we modify? So this yoga helps in modification of the mind. So Nirodha is a control. So just see, yoga is the best medicine for psychologists to learn and impart this education to one and all. Why we don't do it? I don't know. So this is very important too. That is why I brought this, again, shloka by Patanjali, that this is what yoga is. So yoga is for mind health, my dear students and participants. Yoga is for mind health, mental health, not physical health. You gain mental health, you gain physical health. It's vice versa. But we don't give importance to our mind health. So that's where, as a psychologist, our job is to bring to masses awareness of this scientific aspect of yoga meditation, as it was said by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, that yoga is the journey through the self, of the self to the self. So this is what I wanted to tell you. Man se man ka ilaj. So easy to do it. Yeah, thank you all. Can we have question and answer?
Thank you so much, Abha ma'am. This was so beautiful. You rightly said, if you can control your mind, we can control our stress. There are some questions that I'd like to put forth now. Just give me a minute. If there are any other questions, I've received a few. We are going to take them. If there are any other questions, please keep writing in the chat box. The first question is, do you think we should prioritize emotional management and mindfulness in our day, even if we feel okay most of the time?
Parnika, you will take it?
Ma'am, your views.
Yeah. See, I think priority of anything, whether it is emotional issues or it is your work issues, life issue, anything, you have to prioritize. And in this context, I would like to give you one technique that everybody should have: my personal crisis plan, MPCP, my personal crisis plan, right? And there you should have who is the person who you can reach, numbers. One sheet you should always have with you on your phone or wherever you want to. And then who are the triggers which create that, for you in your mind and your behavior. So identify those triggers, and also what are the distraction technique you can apply, which you have applied initially in previous experiences. So you should have 2-3 distractors mentioned in that sheet. And what is your safe space to go in house, in which corner of the house or in the garden space you need to mention. And then 3-4 qualities which you think about yourself is great about you, So you just see that, and you have, as we have a crisis plan for anything in our country, disaster management plan and crisis management plan, and every organization has task forces. I think we have forgotten to have our own crisis plan, the personal crisis plan we need to have. If I'm in threat or I'm in danger, we have numbers, we all get numbers. Parents give you numbers, school gives you number, college gives you a panic number, or danger may, if you are there, you call. But when you can manage something on your own, that emotional management which you asked, somebody asked this question, this is the way. That why I go so berserk when I see this person and stimulus and I don't know how to behave. My behavior goes very, very vulnerable. So I can manage because I know now this was the previous trigger also, I behaved like that, now I will not behave. I have my distractor. So I will use some distraction technique. Maybe I go to garden, maybe I leave that space, maybe I start singing, maybe I start doing household chores, I start playing my music instruments. So there are many distraction technique which is according to the individual's interest and personality types, right? So you can create that kind of page for yourself, and which will help you to prioritize your emotional management issues. See, everything which you do, you cannot delete your emotions. Emotion is present everywhere, whether in personal life or professional life. Only the expression changes in a formal manner or an informal. That's the only difference. So I think this can help. I hope I have tried to clarify.
This is beautiful, ma'am. MPCP, my personal crisis plan. I think we can all remember it so easily now. The second question that has come in is having high level stress and being emotionally weak linked with each other?
Yeah, very, very closely, high correlation. Yeah. If you are low in emotion management, your emotion intelligence would be low. So it's easily, we have instrument to measure that as well, but we are trained, and as a psychologist, our job is to train many more to understand this. So everybody can act as a psychologist in this. If you see people shouting, howling, you can see that their emotion intelligence is low, And it is said intelligent people do not quarrel, they can easily, amicably manage everything and solve everything. When you howl and shout and be angry, as she explained, the brain system, it goes to Sixer. The blood flow stops to the thinking prefrontal cortex. When it stops, you can't think, And that's where you behave a very, I think, weird manner, and you sometimes don't know why I have behaved. That is why I told you to have a crisis plan in place,
That's beautiful, ma'am. The third question that has come from somebody is, what is the criteria to be emotionally strong?
First is awareness. You know yourself very well. You know how you behave and why you behave. And you know that you are using emotions for yourself and for others in a positive manner. So emotion is not using you. You are in full control of your feelings. On this earth, one thing you can control, that is emotions. But unfortunately today, the humanity is controlled by emotions. And by more negative emotions, if you ask me. So if you see these things happening in the environment, that indicates low emotion intelligence. High emotion intelligence will indicate self-awareness, positivity, management skills, and how best you can manage everything within yourself and with others. And simple definition which I try to explain to people is understanding, managing yourself, understanding and managing others, emotional aspect. And that helps you to gain the control within yourself and in the environment.
Thank you, ma'am. The fourth question is, what does one practice being emotionally strong when life seems completely out of control?
You have to see your crisis plan first, and that will slowly, gradually give you an understanding that what are the triggers, and can I understand my triggers so that I'm able to act proactively in the future incidents when it happens. So you are able to find your triggers, and you know it, but you have to accept it. Unless until you accept those triggers and try to realize it in your daily life, no, this is the problem, I need to work in this area. So triggers need to be identified so that it doesn't make you vulnerable in any situation. We sometimes don't know what are our triggers, that negative psyche, which I mean to say. And when we understand that negative psyche, then the problem you can easily relate with that negative thought. Negative psyche means a negative thought. That's the trigger. Suppose somebody sees somebody's face, you have that trigger because that person has done a lot of harm to you, or some physical abuse, verbal abuse, whatever. There are different kinds of abuse. So moment you think or perceive the sight of it, you get that turmoil, the traumatic feeling inside you. So that's where you have to identify that what are those emotional signals which help me not to control my emotion, and I'm under control of that emotion. Emotion controls you, rather you control emotions at that time. Yeah.
How beautifully said, ma'am. Another question, a very heartfelt one, is I feel at work I'm really undermined, and my colleagues try to put me down because of my self confidence. Because of that, my self confidence has really gone down. How do I practice being mindful in these kind of situations?
See, I think you have to be assertive first. You have to learn in emotion intelligence. It's also handling relationship. That's a skill part of emotion intelligence. So if you are not able to communicate your hurt, the person who has given to you, you have to communicate. Problem with us, most of us, is that person who gives hurt to you, you don't talk to him or her. We talk to every third person, fourth person, but not to that person. My question is why? We have to address our problem to that, whether a senior or a colleague. There are many ways to communicate. Today, I think technology has given that edge to us as human beings. We can use technology to communicate that this is what I felt very bad in this situation. And I was hurt. And then you can give your expression in that context and have a dialogue. Maybe the person is busy, ask for appointment, schedule an appointment. How can you create a mindfulness in this situation when you are disturbed inside? You can't. First, you have to work on that aspect. Okay, fine. That time you can do breathing, but the problem still lies. Again, you will see that person. Again, you will have that kind of feeling starting again in your mind and heart. So it's better to talk and try to release your whatever I think vulnerability you have, which has been inflicted by the person, and you are able to express in a very polite and kind manner. If he was rude, he should not. It is not that you should also be rude, and that's what people do. If the person is rude, you are equally rude, more rude than him or her. So that is where the communication tactics strategy is required. And that's where I think, Parnika, effective and effective, you have to be effective in your communication strategy, and you will see the problem is solved. And that person will say, oh, I said like that. Why are you taking to heart? Everybody has, see, when you meet anybody, let me tell you, you should always remember that everybody is fighting their own battle. So everybody has set of their own problems, so that we sometimes with the pressure and the work and family, we don't know how to communicate. And that is unknowingly sometimes happens, and that creates a problem. It's better to talk and do not create an assumption syndrome that this person is like this, that person is like this. Oh, so it be boss is like that. No, it's not like that. You have to talk, whether boss or colleague or friends or relationship, any area of relationship, you can work with your approach of communication and how you're expressing your emotion, feelings, problems which you feel that it is hurt. So strategy for communication and assertive communication is required here.
Sakshi, you're on mute.
Okay. So there's another question which says there are times when I feel life is pretty good, and I feel everything at those times is great. But there are times when I feel hopeless about things in life. How do I manage this hopelessness and helplessness? Because this really brings me down as well.
So when you're hopeful, then why should be hopeless? Both can't go together. Either you're hopeful or you're hopelessness. So it's very easy. You replace hopelessness with hopefulness. Positive with negative. Moment you feel that way, I told you the crisis plan, you stop it. Distract your mind and bring to hopefulness what you can do best. See, there are certain things in our life which we can't control. But I'm not saying emotion, I'm saying things. situation, people. But I can control the way I respond to that situation. That is in my hand. And that's where in Bhagavad Gita it is said, between stimulus and response, in Western psychology is taught, Western psychology, if you see the behavioral scientists, they have given this sequence, stimulus, response. But Bhagavad Gita says stimulus, response is there, but in between you have power of choice. In between you have power of choice to respond to that stimulus. And response can be in three ways: action, proaction, or reaction. So you are talking here of reaction, negativity. So I can change to action, that is positive response, and negate those negativity which is happening at that moment with distraction technique, some exercises, breathing exercises, emotional freedom technique, which Parnika shared right now. So there are many techniques to distract yourself, but you need to be pretty aware of yourself. Yes, I'm having this kind of problem right now. So if I'm hopeless, I need to be hopeful, And hope is everything, in today's context. I don't say that health, you have everything is there, health is wealth. I say hope is everything. If you have hope, you have everything, health, wealth, everything. But you should have hope. So hope is very important, positive, powerful emotion, if you ask me, for survival of the humanity.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think we are time's over now. So I'd just like to say that this has been such an amazing session. We've learned so much. We've learned how science of breath and breathing techniques can make so much of a difference in our life. Yoga, science, how we can control our mind and not let stress control us. All the techniques that were talked about, Dr. Parnika, were amazing as well. I'm sure a lot of people got to understand how to do them really properly. Thank you so much. I am Sakshi Singla, and on behalf of IILM University and District Commission Gurgaon, I would like to thank all the participants here for being such an amazing audience and and sending all your questions. I will also urge everyone who's watching to help spread the spirit of Swasth Man, Swasth Samaj. Stay tuned for day 5 tomorrow for some interesting sessions which are coming up tomorrow. Thank you so much, Dr. Rabha.
And let's pray together, all of us, before we end. Let's pray for the welfare, peace, happiness, and health for everyone and the universe. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye.